And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I hate Theomachy. Yeah, I decided to get this out of the way early so that I can, because my hatred's going to brew to the surface over the course of this review, and I'm not trying to hold people in suspense, but this is easily the worst game I played this year. This is a game in which you are going to take one of a pantheon of gods, and it adds in some deck building, it adds in drafting, it adds in a lot of poker, and a whole lot of not fun. Yeah, this is a bit of a biased review, but all my reviews are so. Unfortunately, this game is going to just tries to do too much. Now, I will say there's one thing I do like about the game, and that is the artwork. Okay, and by the way, there's two different versions of the game, Theomachy, the Ancients, and the Warrior Gods. They're essentially the exact same, the difference being the gods that are in them. So you're going to take a god in this game, so you'll take a pantheon of gods. So maybe I'll take the Egyptian gods. Do I want Anubis, or which of these gods do I want, or these Philistine gods maybe, Ishtar, I'm not sure who, or Marduk, no, those are gods from different, so you have different gods. Here's Poseidon and Ares, and so those are Greek gods. Each of these is going to give you a special ability. All right, so there's special abilities that you have down here. Now, this is the advanced game. One of the problems that this game has already is that the game comes with a rule book that talks about an advanced and an epic game. And the advanced game, I think, is the one that most people are going to want to play because without the advanced game, you don't use the special ability of the gods and all that jazz. But the rule book mixes all three together. So I'll be reading through and like, oh, this is only advanced. Okay, skip to, okay, oh, that's epic. Skip. It's not a very well-written rule book in that regard. But anyhow, you're going to take one of these, and I should mention one of them has Cthulhu, and what else we got? And Ithaca, and Odin. So I know people like that, and you'll notice there's the shiny sheen on these with some gold foil printing. They're nice, but yeah, that's not going to save the game. All right, let's delve a little bit into mechanisms, and I'm going to do something different in this review where I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the game as I'm showing you the overview. Now, the game is going to take using a pile of prayer cards. Now, these prayer cards, players are going to start with their own deck of cards. Now, you can do this by a very long extended drafting, or you can just look for ones that they claim are balanced. They don't feel necessarily balanced, but I haven't played the game enough, and I won't, to find that out. But you'll see this one is part of deck 1. This one's part of deck 4. Each of these cards are going to have different costs that are required for those cards to be played. So this needs 3 green things, and you'll see about those, and then you need a certain number of light orbs or dark orbs in play, and they have different things that they're going to do over the course of the game. So players are going to build a whole deck of these, and then the rest are going to be put out on the table, and at the end of every round of play, players are going to draft these, and you'll take one more and add them into play, and some of them are going to have different tokens next to them to show that if you want one of these tokens, you'll have to pay them. See, this whole game is based on currency. Each player is going to start the game with initiates, priests, and prophets that are 2, 5s, and 10s. This is essentially money, but this game is going to use followers as money. You're going to use these to bid. You're going to use them to buy new cards that go in your deck. And if you ever run out of them, you're eliminated from the game. Yes, the game actually has player elimination. And since the game is not really that short of a game, it can be incredibly annoying to be eliminated early, just like poker, I guess. But you can be eliminated, you're out of the game. And if you eliminate everyone else, hooray, you win. Now, again, you're going to be doing that through a bidding selection. So during each round, players are going to be doing your standard poker things where you will be raising or holding or folding, and you are going to be putting these tokens on a card to see if you're going to stay in a round or not. Now, it's done somewhat similar to Texas Hold'em. There are some of these cards out here. These are called constellation cards, and 3 of them are going to be shown, and the other 2 are going to be hidden. All right, so maybe they're like this. Now, these cards are going to be of different colors. You can see the different colors here in the back, and those are the colors that you will need in play to be able to play your cards. So you can look at the ones that are shown and try to deduct the ones that aren't shown to see if you have the colors that you need. And also, they're going to have black or white orbs on them. So like, can I play this card yet? This Wall of Fire? I can't play this card yet because I need a red. I do have the 6 black orbs. So after one round of bidding, we reveal another card. And then after another round of bidding, we reveal another card. And guess what? I'm never going to be able to play this card, which I find that to be somewhat frustrating. There are cards in the deck. You can even have cards in your hand where you can play a card to get the orbs and or color that you need. But again, you're going to need to have that card in your deck. So these cards are in your hand, and these cards are used in 2 different things. Some of them are used in the bidding phase. Like, for example, this one here, play when an opponent folds. You kill 1 or 2 initiates in that opponent's congregation. All right, so that one's played during the bidding phase. Or others are going to be played after the bidding phase. So let's pretend it's a regular bidding phase. Everyone goes around passing and so on and folding. And then the people who are in, there's 2 cards that are, we show one more. We go around until everyone stays their bid. Then we reveal another one. We go around until everyone stays their bid. By the way, if you don't know the rules of poker, you really should learn them before you come to this game, because this game kind of assumes you know poker already. And then the people who have stayed in the round and who haven't folded will then have an attack phase where they're going to play cards with attack. And whoever has the highest might is going to win the hand. So instead of having a poker hand, you are going to have an attack card. This attack is going to include the strength of all the followers that you bid, but you have cards that might, there's basically normal cards that are just mights of different various amounts of power. See, there's a might 12, but that requires 3 green and a 3. Well, there's not 3 greens that are out there. So my Earthquake, but this Acid Rains, that one's easy. It needs a blue and 2 black, and I got a blue and 2 black out there. In fact, there's no whites out there, which is really bad for anyone who has a card like this. But this, each of your priests gets might plus 3. So if I had bid several of the priests, I might get another plus 6 if I had played 2 priests. So some of the cards are played during the bidding phase, and other cards are played during the attack phase. At the end of the attack phase, the winner is going to get all their chips back, plus a priest. Yay! And everybody else loses their chips. And then you start the next round. But before you start the next round, you will be drafting another card for your deck. You will also discard the cards from your hand like a deck building game. There's other rules in the game, and I apologize to get some of these wrong because the rule book just wasn't written that well. There's Last Stand, where you can bid chips from the bank, essentially. It's kind of basically the same as All In. There are ways to get another currency that you can use, and each pantheon is going to come with a set of like heroes and things who work for that particular gods, and you will pay a certain amount of currency to get these into play, and they will help you out and do more various effects because there isn't already enough effects going on over the course of the game. Like I said, the 2 boxes are essentially the same thing, except they just have different decks of these prayer cards, and they have different gods and the different cards that will come into play. Now, let's clarify a few things here. Like I said, artwork in this game, really well done. The game looks good. The theme was interesting when I first heard about it. When Peterson Games told me about it, I said, wow, that sounds really intriguing. And this is certainly a big departure from their last game, which was Cthulhu Wars. Although this one, I believe they're bringing over from Historical Game Factory. And Historical Game Factory has made games that I've enjoyed in the past, but they also tend to over-convolute their games, and that's what this one is. This is as if someone played Texas Hold'em poker and they said, man, this is not complex enough. Let's add some stuff to it. Not necessarily a bad thing, although there's a reason people like poker because of the simplicity. But they just added too much. Drafting at the beginning, deck building, cards that do all kinds of crazy powers all over the place, a weird currency for cards where you need to count the number of dark orbs and light orbs and the number of colors, a very long convoluted bidding phase where cards are being played and changed. And a weird, instead of just using money, you got these 2s and 5s and 10s. Super complicated, and the box says it takes 30 to 60 minutes. And that is the case maybe once everyone's played it a lot and knows every card inside and out. Otherwise, it's going to drag. Unless, of course, you eliminate it, which is an awful thing to have in a game like this. What? I understand in poker there's elimination, right? Which, again, is a reason I'm not a huge fan of poker, player elimination is just not a very fun mechanism for someone who's been eliminated. And in this one, poker is all about the bluff of the opponent. But you can't really bluff me because you don't know exactly what your card will do. You don't know what my card will do back to you. This is like bluffing over Dominion. Why would that think is a good idea? I played a game called Pedante from Sterling Games, and I owe them an apology because I said that Pedante was an over-complex version of Texas Hold'em Poker. But I would play Pedante 10 times over playing this game. This game just decides to throw everything into the box and give you a not really well-written rule book, assume you know poker inside and out, but then don't know any of that, and then have a really slow deck-building game. I mean, really slow. Because the bidding rounds for this take forever. It's bid, reveal card, I play some cards, blah, 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 bid. Oh, the bidding's finally over, now the action phase, Someone won. Now guess what? Everyone gets to draft the card. Yay! I'm not going to see that card for like 2 more turns at the most. And then the heroes, which are a neat idea maybe, but they have another set of currency that brings them into play? Oh, this is the ASL of poker. Advanced Squad Leader. This is did no one along the way say, guys, we need to cut some of this out. We need to streamline it. This is like the very definition of a non-streamlined game. And I know some people are going to want to like the game because they're going to say, wow, I want to use this gods and I can take Cthulhu and have him go up against Zeus. Well, that's neat, but I'd rather see Cthulhu go up against Zeus like on a battlefield or something. Playing poker with their worshippers just doesn't... That sounds like a funny theme, but this game isn't funny at all. This game takes everything very seriously. It's dark. You're going to constantly try to figure out what cards mean. They do. You're about to win something, and someone will play something that cancels your card or does something, and it's just not a fun experience. I give this one of the lowest recommendations I possibly can to a game. I'm sure there are people who are going to want to like it because they want to see a complicated version of poker perhaps, and I think some other people are going to like it because they're going to love the artwork and theming of the game, but honestly, for most game players, this is a hard pass.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!